What's up, beautiful people? Just as the sun has risen, so should your mind and your heart. Above all things, take courage because courage is needed in times such as this. We exist in this space called life. We exist in this space called a moment. And in this moment, we find ourselves having two choices to be vulnerable or not to be vulnerable. That's the only two choices we typically have. When we choose not to be vulnerable, we go back to old patterns that have held us back. Yeah, you know those patterns. Not sharing, not caring, withholding, keeping shame as the priority mental focus of how we approach things. Do you know what shame is? Shame is the withdrawal of motivation. Feeling down. The withdrawal of motivation, that sense of feeling down, that sense of not having a purpose and not knowing who you are. The insertion of powerlessness, the insertion of worthlessness, feeling like you have no value, so therefore you keep quiet. So why do we allow this to be the daunting of the priority of our thoughts? Why do we feel that shame should be the king and the pulpit of our throne? Nah, it shouldn't be that way. I think it's because we're so used to not understanding that vulnerability is accessibility into the spaces where these things exist. No different than an inventory. There's people who have valuable things, whether it being at home or at their job. When you understand things are valuable, you take the time to do an inventory to see what's in there, what belongs, what doesn't belong. Is there something missing? To do an assessment, a profit and loss, if you will, right? So why are you neglecting to do a personal inventory within yourself? Why would you not have that vulnerability, aka open up the door, have accessibility, and be present to see what's going on the inside? Is it because you're hurting so much? Trust me, these feelings, they come and they go, just like the wind or the smoke from this incense. You see, this incense once was whole. This incense once believed it was an incense until it got hit, until the truth hit it, the fire hit it, the attention hit it. And slowly but surely, it's fading away, just like the emotions you're experiencing. It's fading away. So now that you know emotions come and go, so why are you taking hold of it as if you belong to it, as if it is you, as if you're self-identifying with it? Nah, don't do it. It's just a visitor. It has its own home. Let it go back to it. Yeah, I'm talking about frustration. I'm talking about pain. I'm talking about insecurity. I'm talking about doubt. All these things that seem to be so loud. As a home, let it go to it. Don't let it stay here. So thank you for participating and being aware as we jump right into day number 16 of our journey with vulnerability. Trust and believe this has definitely been a journey so far. Internally, it's no different than the feeling of being on an operating table and just being exposed and being assessed. The difference is I'm not allowing someone to operate on me. No, no, no. In this journey, I am doing all the operation myself. So if I don't know the tool that I need to use, I'm going to educate myself on the tool to better understand what makes me whole and better. If I don't know the process on what I need to do, I'm going to educate myself on the process to understand what makes me whole and better. You see, a doctor educates themselves. They don't come out the womb being a doctor. They go through that process of self-education so they can help other people. In the process of vulnerability, you can be the doctor. Educate yourself. Pay attention. Listen. Research. Apply. Assess whether or not what you applied is good. You see, take the time to just know what's going on within you. And it's okay. Trust and believe it's okay. So every day there's a different discussion that happens as relates to vulnerability. Today, I didn't have a topic in particular. I just wanted to be vulnerable with you. I just wanted to come on here and just express myself in the presence of you. But I will say some things that came to mind. Earlier today, I was doing a research on why men tend to shut down and not show up. And when I mean shut down and not show up, what I mean by that more specifically is why do we withhold in situations where we should be present? There's so many people wanting us internally, asking us to be present, but where are we to be found? These situations are found in our relationships oftentimes. These situations are found at our jobs oftentimes. These situations are found within ourselves. Sometimes we don't even show up for ourselves. What is it? Why do we want to be so daunting and strong? Why do we think strength comes from withholding? Why do we think strength comes from posturing? Why do we think strength comes from paying attention and listening and doing what other people are doing in order to satisfy the cultural norm? It's not strength. That's just called follow the leader. Yeah, you remember that game, Follow the Leader, or Simon Says. Yeah, some people are really good at Simon Says. Simon Says, do this. Boom. But the game was different. So you didn't necessarily have to do, you should only do what Simon says. So yeah, I guess I'm right. That's the same thing, but you get the gist of it. Listen, you got an internal king and queen within you. But if you're not vulnerable enough to open to the accessibilities of who you are and pay attention to yourself, you're never going to know yourself. So the sense of withholding typically comes from bad habits from the past that are not paid attention to, that are adopted to be the norm. The sense of withholding comes from immense fear, immense pain, or immense conceptualization of some type of threat. So when all these things are happening, people tend to withhold, especially men. You don't want to share? Nope, I'm not going to tell you how I feel, because last time I told you how I felt, last time I opened up to you and expressed to you how I felt, you used it against me. You know how that felt? That could be the reason to why we don't open up. But the truth is, the harm that is done is to ourselves. It's called self-sabotage. Holding pain and tell me how it feels. Holding shame and tell me how it feels. Matter of fact, don't tell me how it feels. Assess how it feels. You do the assessment. That shame that you've been holding in for so long because of what you did, what they said, what happened to you. You've just been holding it in because you don't feel comfortable being exposed. Very similar to Adam and Eve when they first entered into this realization that they had choices. And in this sense of having choices, they chose to do something that they weren't supposed to do, at least told not to do. So they made a choice. They made a choice to make a decision. And in that decision, they became aware that they were naked. They felt ashamed, so they hid. Look at that pattern. They were aware, they were ashamed, and they hid. You're aware of what happened to you. You're just acting like you don't know. Or maybe you need to take the time to be more aware of what happened. Be observant. And then know what that feeling is. See, in Adam and Eve situation, they felt shame. Feel shame. So what shame does, it makes you hide. But how are you going to hide from God? How can you hide from yourself? Who are you really hiding from? Listen, I am concerned in the sense of thinking that you don't have what it takes, but I'm concerned because I know you have what it takes. I know you have everything within you to make the changes you need to make, but you just have this sense of hiding after you're aware of this feeling, but you hide. Guess what? Today, let's make that commitment to no longer hide. Let's identify what it is and make the plans necessary to make the adjustments. Identification gives you power. What do I mean? Think about it. There's some things right now that's going on in you that you have no idea. And have you ever had a conversation with somebody and they said something, you were like, that's what it is. You had this sense of release. It was like your body or your soul telling you that, hey, now I'm getting closer to this identification, right? Kind of like when somebody is out stranded in the sea and they feel as if nobody can hear them. Sometimes you guys got this internal stranded in the sea perspective in your life. You feel like nobody can hear you and nobody's going to come save you. So there's a moment where you shoot that flare and it just so happens somebody sees it. Just so happens somebody hears it. They pay attention and they get your attention, and then you have the sense of, oh, I'm about to be rescued. That's what people oftentimes wait for, is for other people to come to their rescue. But you have the ability to be able to assess yourself in the present state of vulnerability. And now we're really just talking about low energy things. Like I said, these dark feelings, these feelings that are not positive. That's what we consider low energy, right? bad vibes, negative vibes. You know the vibe, it's negative. It's not what you want. And there's a higher energy. There's a elevated state, if you will, a sense of consciousness, a sense of feel good, right? When you have a sense of accomplishment or a sense of feeling good and great, appreciated, gratefulness, worthiness, exaltation, all these different feelings of feeling higher within yourself. And we put it into words or terms. So even in that state, vulnerability is so needed. And the reason why it's needed is because you need to pay attention to what you're feeling in any situation. Because if this feeling is a feeling that got you what you got, and you wanted what you wanted, then you need to recall what you felt in order to find your way back, because you're not going to always feel that way. Like I said, feelings, they come, they go. But what does remain is you. Feelings come and they go. What remains is you. You see, through all the hard times, all the difficult struggles, your life seems to put you down a path. And this path seems to be dark at times, and you get lost even in that. And when you're lost, you isolate and you get a fear. And when you're lost, you isolate and then you adopt fear. And when you're lost, you isolate and you adopt fear as if it belongs to you. Nah, fear doesn't belong to you. It's a stimulus. It's there to remind you that things ain't gonna always be like this. You see, fear don't belong to you. It's a stimulus. It's here to remind you that things won't always be like this. Fear doesn't belong to you. It's a stimulus. It's there to remind you that things won't always be like this. You gotta overcome it, push through it. You gotta overcome it, push through it. You gotta overcome it, push through it. Recall the king, the woman in you, the king in you, whatever continent you find yourself into. Recall yourself, bring it out. Recall yourself, bring it out. Recall yourself, bring it out. You see, we need you in this thing we call life. We need you in this thing we call life. It's an expression of willpower in this life. It's an expression of willpower in this life. But you've been willing for the wrong things. You've been willing for fake and fictional things. You've been willing for the wrong things. You've been thinking about things that ain't even real. Don't you see? Listen, we just vibing out on day number 16 of this journey called vulnerability, hoping to really release a sense of positive vibes and energy to you as you take part of your weekend, and that you go and try to accomplish things that you're trying to accomplish. And if you find yourself in places, whether high or low, I hope that this message transcends and comes to you directly, to your heart, to your being, and it searches you and it talks to you, it communicates to you in a sense that can't be distracted by all the things that seem to always want us distracted. You know those things that always seem to get us distracted. You know those energy pullers. You know those mental not thinkers. You know those things that make us numb. Nah, don't let it distract you. You're a king, you're a queen. You got it all within you. There's all the answers you need are within you. Every answer you need is within you. All the courage you need is within you. Courage is not an external thing, it's an internal finding. It's not an external thing, it's an internal finding. It's not an external thing, it's an internal finding. The courage that you need is in you. So just be it. Just do it. Show up, show out, have the vulnerability to be present. Why are you worried about what they think? Like the wind, those thoughts are gonna blow too. Some people will take a little bit longer to catch on. It's okay. You're not living your life based off what they think. You're living a life based off your truth. Your life is an example of what you believe it to be. So if you're believing in things that ain't real, if you're believing in things that are hurtful and harmful, if you're believing in things that are illful, you'll know, because you start to feel it. And your body's telling you this ain't real, this ain't the truth. And it tries to eject it, but you're not paying attention. So you accept it. You accept that pain as boldness. You accept that pain as courage. You accept that pain as this rigidness that you want to present to everybody else, but you know the truth. You're tired. You've been fighting all your life. It's time to take a deep breath and find peace, man. You're tired. You've been fighting all your life. It's time to take a deep breath and find peace, man. In your true self, peace exists. In your true self, peace exists. In your true self, peace exists. And no man can come steal it. Trust me. Your true self, peace exists. That's where the true manifestation exists. That's where power and exaltation exists. In the true self, peace exists. You have what it takes. You know what you need to do. We all make mistakes. We all make bad decisions. All of us. All of us. But the question is, are you going to still lay there in it? It's like Adam and Eve. You got a choice. Choose wisely. You guys stay
Would you like
blessed.
us to build you an automated
Stay
Amazon
blessed.
store, which allows you the freedom to live?
Create clarity. Let me see what else is coming on next. See if I can. Oh yeah, you like this? It's easy vibe right here. This is mood on right here. It's the kind of mood on it right now. Sometimes you can get so worried about people thinking it's gonna close you off, but I'm in true expression form right now, y'all. You can't hold me back. This is where true light comes. This is where true light comes. The manifestation of light that is within. The manifestation of light that is within. The pure elevation of the evolution, the pure elevation of the evolution within, the pure elevation of the evolution within, the pure elevation of the evolution within, the pure elevation of the evolution within. You know, we always evolve. You know, we always become whatever we think of, whatever we feel like. Yeah, I wanted to call you son, but you're not that. You may be a beautiful queen. I don't know about that because I can't see who I'm talking to. Gender don't matter in this message. Just yourself does. Ooh, I lost the word, but I come back on the beat because I hear the verb. It's an action. So that means do you. Don't be temporary, man. Don't be afraid of what you think because your thoughts are simply temporary, man. You can change it just like your clothes. You can change it just like your clothes. So if you think you're not good enough, think a different thought that you are enough, that I am enough, that I am all that I am who I am. Imagine that I am enough, that I am all that. I am who I am. Imagine that. And then it becomes power when you start believing it. I said it becomes power when you start believing it. You see, belief is the power all things need. Belief is the power all things need. It's hard to knock a man down when he believes. It's hard to tell him anything else when he believes. Believe in yourself. Believe in your truth because it's found right inside of you. You just got to pay attention to it. Yeah. So I hope you find your truth. I hope you're vulnerable enough to do what you need to do. Assess yourself, observe everything. Assess yourself, observe everything. Kind of like reading a book. Kind of like reading a book. Kind of like reading a book. Oh, kind of like reading a book. Oh, kind of like reading the words, reading the words, reading the words, reading the words. And then when you read the words, start to believe in it. When you read the words, start to believe in it. What is this thing I call belief? That's a good question. Sit back and I will teach. What is this thing I call belief? That's a great question. Sit back and I will teach. Belief is when your heart is connected to it. There's no other doubt but to do it. Belief is when your heart is connected to it. And there's no other doubt but just to do it. Belief is when your heart is connected to it. There's no other doubt but just to do it. Belief is when your heart is connected to it. There is no other doubt but just do it. You got what it takes. You've been through this before. This is not the first time you've experienced this. So just as you bless yourself and assess yourself, when you come outside of yourself, bless other people. Touch other people, connect with other people. We are one, we're community. We're one, we're community. And no man, no one can stop the all-encompassing ones. That's us, we're community. Create clarity. Be you. But find you, discover you. Find you and discover you.